Look, this is going to be like the famous burger, in and out. Okay. This is going to be one of the shortest podcasts in recent memory because I'm short on time, but I got a hell of a lot of shit on my mind. So, without any further ado, let's jump into the 302nd installment of the LouieTeeNetwork podcast that starts now. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the 302nd installment of the LouieTeeNetwork podcast. Of course, I'm your step man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. I don't know how this happens every Friday. I feel like I've got so much time on my hands, especially this particular Friday. I felt like I had time, and then I don't. Now, the power did go out, and I did not foresee that happening, and that was like a 15-minute kind of delay. That sucks, but enough of that babbling. Let's get straight to the proceedings this evening. Gem Droppin Session. Let's do it. Let me drop this gem on your melon. Open your mind. Let your conscience be free. You're now rolling with your man, Louie T. Let me open you up. Get you thinking a little bit. This is something that I wanted to do last week, but just like today, I ran out of time. And so I didn't get to it, but I said I did the work. I wanted to talk about it. It's still pertinent because Zach Wilson still isn't starting. So it still resonates. And after seeing Mac Jones or Michael McCorkle Jones, okay, when you play the way that the Patriots have been playing this season and the way he played last night, and really he wasn't terrible, but the team around him was, I call you by your government name. He's Michael McCorkle Jones. And so after seeing him last night, and Zach Wilson struggling and being benched, I thought it was only fitting to talk about these youngins right now, man. Some of these boys are drowning. And they need to be thrown a life-saving device, okay? Throw them a life raft or something, okay? Look, there were 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round last year. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, okay? The year before that, there were 3 quarterbacks taken. 2 in the first round, or 3 in the first round, and then 1 in the second. All of those boys are thriving, okay? Those 2020 quarterbacks are like, you ain't talking to me. All right, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow, and Tua Tagovailoa, and Jalen Hurts, those boys are thriving. Those 2020 quarterbacks are. But then you go to 2019, and there were 2 first-round quarterbacks taken, or 3 actually. There was Daniel Jones, there was Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, and Dwayne Haskins. Obviously, one is no longer here with us, in Dwayne Haskins. Daniel Jones, on the last year of his rookie deal, they did not pick up the 5th-year option, did the Giants. But now I think they may franchise tag him if they can't work out a deal. I think they're going to try to work something out with him. And then there's Kyler Murray, and he's kind of struggling right now. We'll talk about him a little bit later on, but let's focus on the youngins first. The youngins are the 2021 class, okay? Lawrence is going to be fine. I kind of want to exclude him from this conversation because I think he's got the best situation of all these quarterbacks. It's a healthy situation. It's his first year in that offense, so you expect some struggles, but his talent is apparent. They believe in him. The win against Baltimore was further proof that they're heading in the right direction. He's athletic, big arm. He's only going to get better with time in that offense, time on task. I don't worry about Lawrence, okay? But there were some rumblings and grumblings out there. Jags fans were getting impatient. It was getting late early for some of those Jags fans, which I didn't understand. But and he was missing some throws. Again, I saw an article where one NFC executive said, in this league, you can't miss the layups. Trevor Lawrence misses too many layups. He's talking about easy throws. You can't miss easy throws. He misses too many of them. He's not wrong, especially earlier in the season. He was missing easy throws. And that doesn't have anything to do with scheme or a new offense or new system. Hey, you see it, you throw it. And he was missing dudes, but he's going to get better. I don't worry about him. Zach Wilson, Lord have mercy. He had offseason controversy, with a whole bunch of foolishness going on with other people's moms and things of that nature and being a MILF hunter, right? But all of that goes away if you're taking care of business. I mean, your legend grows, and that becomes not even a joke, but rather a badge of honor if you go out here and you start slaying it on the field instead of slaying down moms across America. However, it's not what's happening. In one of the biggest media markets in the country, he's struggling. That shit gets amplified when you're in New York. And it's worse. It's one thing to struggle, but be humble, take it on the chin, pause, and graciously accept the fact that you're not playing well and own up to it, which is all anyone wants to hear when you're stinking it up. But when you got teammates coming in the locker room, screaming expletives and talking about how shit has to change, they're not naming any names, but you know they're talking about your ass. And then you have the audacity to then walk up to the podium after the game in a game in which you had like 7 completions and you threw for like 7. You had like 14 completions, threw for like 77 yards. Your team scores 3 points and you lose on a last-second punt return, 10-3. You have the audacity to say, no, I didn't let the defense down. It was windy outside. You guys didn't see the wind? Yeah, we also saw Mac Jones playing the same wind, go 22 of 28 for 206 yards and, not piss away the game. So, yeah, we did see that it was windy outside. What's your excuse? But he had all the excuses. He didn't want to own anything. And it wasn't his fault. Those are the guys that don't last long in this league. You know how the guys like Ryan Fitzpatrick and Chad Henne and all of those guys, the Josh McCowns, you know how they last in the league? They're likable dudes. You know what I mean? They've all been starters before at some point in their career, and they understand the dynamic of the locker room and what needs to be done at the quarterback position. When you don't play well, you've got to admit, hey, that's on me. I got to be better. It's almost a thankless job, the quarterback position is, which isn't true because they get a ton of credit. When you win as a team, the quarterback gets the credit. When you lose as a quarterback, your job is to fall on the sword, whether it's your fault or not. He doesn't seem to understand that. And he's struggling, by the way. He gets benched, and magically the offense comes to life. They score 30 points, 30-plus points, 3 touchdown passes. They destroy the Bears. All is right in the world. Their head coach comes to the podium and said, hey, Mike White made the easy plays look easy. Ouch. Maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe this benching is exactly what he needs. Maybe he won't. I tend to think guys like Zach Wilson don't ever really figure it out, but we'll see what happens. Trey Lance. This was a big year for him. They were supposed to be moving on from Jimmy Garoppolo, which would have signified the passing of the torch. This was officially his team. He sat out his rookie season, essentially learned, and he was supposed to be ready to take over the reins. The 49ers were prepared to take whatever bumps and bruises that were going to come with Trey Lance getting his opportunity. It didn't start well. You go on the road in a slop fest against the Bears and you lose. And then the following week, Trey Lance gets injured. And so it didn't get off to a rousing start. Jimmy Garoppolo comes in, and I really think Kyle Shanahan was relieved. Like, yes, I'm getting my guy. I'm going to have a chance. I don't know what to make of Trey Lance. He's like the wild card of this group. I'll leave him alone for now, but I wasn't overly impressed with what I saw, but I think he's going to be fine. But again, we can't say that for certain. And with Jimmy G doing what he's doing and with that 49ers team having this resurgence, it's going to put more pressure on Trey Lance whenever he does return, and it's probably not going to be this year. He's going to need to play well. No one's looking to take a step back because you've sat out the first year of your career and the second year you got injured. No one's trying to hear that. The veterans, Fred Warner's not trying to hear that. Debo Samuel's not trying to hear that. George Kittle's not trying to hear that. The veterans on that team, Trent Williams, not trying to hear that shit. He's going to have to come in. He's got to play well. Or else everybody's going to be asking, why the hell did we get rid of Jimmy G again? Especially if they go back to the NFC Championship or further this year. Justin Fields. He's another wild card in this group because he's played so much better. I think he has made believers out of that organization. I don't think they fully believed in Justin Fields in the offseason, which is why they did next to nothing to aid him in having a successful upcoming season. I think his legs have instilled confidence in himself. And now, because of that confidence, he's playing better. And because he's playing better, I now think the rest of the organization believes in Justin Fields. The move to trade for Chase Claypool, I think, is indicative of one of the weakest wide receiver free agent classes we've ever seen. That's one. Two, I think it's also a sign that, hey, we believe in you and we want to make sure we get you some weapons. I think Fields is trending in the right direction, and he's got to stay healthy. You know, he just missed a game this past week. I think he'll be back this week. We'll see. But he's got a chance. It was funny because when the season started, he was the one guy that everybody thought was going to stink. And he might be behind Trevor Lawrence as the guy that's in the best position, you know, moving into his third season. But we'll see how he finishes up this campaign. And then we can kind of start to assess where he is in the pantheon of these young quarterbacks and what we think his future looks like. But I'm still not sold on Justin Fields quite yet. But he's in a much better position now than he was 2 months ago. That's for sure. Hell, a month and a half ago. Mac Jones, Michael McCorkle Jones. All right. His stock couldn't be any higher after his rookie season. As a card collector, his cards were selling like hotcakes. I talked about this last night on the show. A kid pulled a one of one, Prism Black Mac Jones rookie and sold it for $100,000. Mac Jones's stock was through the roof. And I told anybody that would listen, sell your Mac Jones cards now. When Josh McDaniels left for Oakland or Vegas, I said, this thing is about to go downhill fast. And it has. Now, it got to the point where Patriots fans were singing the praises of Bailey Zappi and screaming Zappi Hour, to the point where, you know, Patriots players in the locker room were pissed off at how Mac Jones was being treated. The miggity Mac, bow, the miggity Mac. But he hasn't been terrible, you know, but he hasn't been great either. And he's dealt with an injury this season, so he's been somewhat compromised. I think he banged himself up again last night. I'm going to keep my eye on Mac Jones. I think he's going to be fine, though, when it's all said and done. As long as they can fix some of the things that they have wrong in New England, I think he'll be fine. And then I just want to make one mention of another youngin in Kyler Murray. I told you that he's not a leader. I told you that, you know, there are some question marks about, you know, him in that locker room. And then we heard about the lack of work ethic, him studying and the clause that was put in the contract initially. All of that stuff got out. I'm pretty sure you guys saw what Patrick Peterson had to say on Bryant McFadden's podcast, where Patrick Peterson, ex-teammate of Kyler Murray, pretty much said, no, not pretty much, verbatim, he said, Kyler Murray don't care about nobody but himself. Kyler Murray don't care about nobody but Kyler Murray. They were talking about Cliff Kingsbury and him being in trouble as the head coach of the Cardinals. And Patrick Peterson just blatantly said, hey, Kyler Murray don't give a damn about nobody but Kyler Murray. Well, god damn. I don't think he's wrong at all. You know, to which Kyler Murray responded, hey, you claim that you're supposed to be a mentor and you got my number and that's how you're going to do me? Instead of hitting me up, if you felt that way, why you ain't come to me and tell me that behind closed doors, why you going to air me out on socials? You know, Patrick Peterson strikes me as a very fake dude in the way that he'll smile in your face and he'll talk about you behind your back. But that said, I also think there was truth in what he said. Patrick Peterson then responded by saying, hey, I want nothing but the best for you. He hit up Kyler Murray and tried to make amends. And Kyler's like, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. F you. So Kyler Murray is another dude that's interesting because you know what? I look at him and I think he's a loser. I think he's to me got a loser mentality. He looks like a guy that'll be like Carmelo. And I look at Carmelo Anthony and I just see a loser. hell of a player, he's a loser. I look at Kyler Murray, hell of a player, I think he's a loser. We'll see if I'm wrong about that. Another youngin that I feel like, man, I don't know about him, man. I love him. I don't know about him. Anyway, I digress. Let's transition to our next segment. You know what it is. Thursday night leftovers. Go ahead, head to the kitchen. I still got Thanksgiving leftovers. I can't speak for any of you out there. I still got Thanksgiving leftovers. So I'm still munching on my meat. I'm still munching. Pause. Okay. I'm still munching on mac and cheese. I still got some cornbread left. I had a corner of yams. That's pretty much done, though. So I'm still snacking on Thanksgiving food. So y'all know what it is. Let's get to the Thanksgiving or the Thursday night leftovers. Well, shit, for me, they are Thanksgiving leftovers. Let's start with our first leftover. Patriots, remember, Patriots, Bills. Bills get the win 24 to 10. Bills are now 9-3 on the season. Patriots drop to 6-6. Now, every team in that division is no longer over 500. The only division that distinction goes to is the NFC East. Last night's game featured 3 punts by Buffalo. That's now 3 punts and 27 possessions in the last 3 games versus the Patriots. So there was this crazy stat, and they talked about it last night during the telecast. There were 17 possessions in the 2 previous games, the playoff game and the last regular season game, in which Buffalo dominated the Patriots. We know about the playoff game last year, 47-17, 7 straight touchdowns in the game, not a single punt. The only playoff game in NFL history where the team, a team scored a touchdown on every single possession in the game. There wasn't a kneel down before half. There wasn't a kneel down at the end of the game. 7 possessions, 7 touchdowns as they ran the New England Patriots out of Orchard Park. And so they dominated them last year. 17 possessions in those 2 games combined, not a single punt. Last night, it took them about 4 possessions before they finally forced their first punt. And the Bills did punt 3 times last night, but it was 10 more possessions in that game last night, and they only punted 3 times. So 3 punts in 27 possessions over the span of 3 games. Are you kidding me? Wow. Have times changed and the mighty fallen. Once upon a time, this Patriots team was the bully of that division. Now they are an afterthought, and Bills fans are absolutely loving it, like McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Next leftover. Patriots scored 10 points last night, marking the 3rd time they've scored 10 or less this season. I've talked about the offensive struggles of the Patriots this season, and I knew it was coming, and they've had their moments. Thanksgiving, they scored 26. Against the Browns, they scored 30 some odd points. They've had their moments this season where they've run it up and they've played well, but few and far between against inferior opponents. When they've seen quality defenses, when they've seen solid offenses that can control the football, they've struggled to score points. And again, last night was one of those nights. They've got some work to do on the offensive side of football. It's not all on Mac Jones. That offensive line stinks. They don't have a ton of elite weapons. They got a ton of weapons. None of them are elite. There's a lot of work to do. And then obviously the play calling situation is not ideal. So they got a lot of work to do. And the 10 points reflects that. They were never in that game. Even after the touchdown, who thought they ever had a chance in that game? They never felt like they were going to beat the Bills. Even after the touchdown to Marcus Jones. Never felt like they were going to win that game. Next leftover. Bills are now 9-3 on the season. But did you know that last night's victory against the New England Patriots was their first AFC East victory of the season? They were 0-2 in the division. Losses to the Dolphins earlier this season and the Jets had put them in quite the quandary, which is why if the Dolphins win, they'll go back to first place because the Dolphins have a better divisional record. The Dolphins are currently 2-1. The Jets are 2-2. And the Bills going into last night's game were 0-2 in the division. Now, obviously, they've got 3 more, including last night's game, 4 more divisional games. They played one last night, took care of business, got their first win in the division of the season. They're 1-2, but they're going to have to do some work in that division if they plan on calling themselves AFC East champions for the 3rd consecutive year. So just thought you might want to know that. That was interesting. Next leftover. Who says leftovers that are a week old aren't still good? You guys don't know what you're missing here. A little bit of cranberry sauce left too. Actually made some more. Pats jerseys. This has nothing to do with football. The Pats jerseys last night were fire. Fire. Second time they've worn them this season. They wore them earlier this year when they blanked the Detroit Lions 29-0. Did you know that this was their first time wearing it again this season since 2012? It didn't feel that long ago, but the last time they wore it, Randy Moss was still a member of the New England Patriots. Let that sink in for a second. I don't know. Was he still there in 2012? That seems a bit much. I know they wore it in 2007. He was there then. 2012, I don't think he was there that long. Randy Moss probably had already retired by 2012. Anyway, 2012 was the last time they wore those. A decade ago. Did it feel that long to you that you've seen these jerseys? Damn, they were clean, boy. Them shits was crispy. But, since the NFL relaxed the helmet rule, it allowed a lot of teams that hadn't been wearing some of their throwbacks to wear their throwback uniforms, because you can't wear that jersey with the current Patriot helmet, right? Like the Rams would do crazy shit. The Rams would wear throwback uniforms with their current helmet. Like they didn't give a shit. It wouldn't stop them from wearing an alternate uniform. Well, for a lot of these jerseys, like the Buccaneers can't wear the creamsicle jerseys without the helmet with the Buccaneer on it with the sword in his mouth winking. Like you can't wear those jerseys with your current helmets. Like it looks stupid. If you don't have the whole ensemble, then we don't want the ensemble. Damn, that shit was crispy last night. Anyway, I digress. Next leftover. Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen combo continues to be a well-oiled machine. Diggs went for 7 catches, 92 yards, and a touch last night. And in 12 games this season, he has been the leading receiver 8 times. He's got 6 100-plus yard games on the season and 70-yard games. He's got 4 of those where he's had 70 yards or more, but didn't quite reach the 100 mark on that particular afternoon. So the guy is tearing it up right now. 91 catches for 1,202 yards and 10 touchdowns. He leads the league in receptions with 91. He's second in the league in yards with 1,202. And he's got 10 touchdowns, which is a career high, which he set last year with 10. He's already tied that this season. He's going to eclipse that, obviously, if he stays healthy. So that combination, man, we talked about it last night on the show. Somebody asked, is Stephon Diggs on his way to Canton? If he keeps playing like this, you damn right. It's 5 consecutive years of 1,000 yards, the last 2 in Minnesota, the first 3 in Buffalo. These numbers that he's putting up are cartoonish. I'm just telling you, man, this thing right here has a chance to be ridiculous moving forward. And then the final leftover from Thursday night's 24-10 victory for the Bills. I talked about this. Talked about this last night with the Patriots and talking about their ineptitude when they played good teams, because they were 6-5 heading into the game last night. They're 6-6 now after the loss. And I said they feel like a team that's fraudulent. People were using the fraudulent term with the Vikings, and I'm like, I don't know about fraudulent for an 8-1 team at the time. Now they're 9-2 are the Vikings, but I'm like, I don't know about that term for an 8-1 team. That's a little bit, much for me. It's a little harsh. Lucky, yeah, but you make your breaks. You make your luck in this league. The Patriots are fraudulent, all right? They're not a real 6-6 team. And there was a tweet sent out by a guy that I follow. I forgot his name. I think it's Ari from Pro Football Focus. And he puts out a lot of good stuff. He's a great follow. And he had a tweet that pretty much said the Patriots have 6 wins. Of their 6 wins, 5 of the QBs, all 5 of them were garbage. Well, that's not fair. Of the 5 QBs, 4 of them are no longer starters. They've all been benched, with the exception of one, Jared Goff. So here are the quarterbacks that they beat this season. Mitchell Trubisky, benched. Jacoby Brissett, benched. Zach Wilson, twice, benched. And Jared Goff. All right. I'm missing somebody. Who else did they beat? Who's another benched quarterback? I said they beat the Steelers. They beat the Browns. They beat the Lions. Oh, I said it right. No, I'm missing one. There's one more quarterback. It's 5 quarterbacks. Who else did they beat? Had to be somebody garbage. Let me look it up real quick. Had it right on the damn tip of my tongue, and I forgot that fast. The other quarterback that they beat was Sam Ehlinger. That's who it was. Easy to forget. Beat the Indianapolis Colts and Sam Ehlinger. He's been benched for Matt Ryan. So I said all of that to say this. Jared Goff is the only quarterback that is still starting that they've beaten this season. All the other teams they've played, they've lost to, and most of those games haven't really even been close. So this Patriots team, not very good. They make uncharacteristic mistakes. Special teams used to never be a problem for them. They're making special teams mistakes and gaffes. Their kicker last night kicked a 48-yard field goal, and the shit hit the crossbar. When's the last time a dude kicked a 48-yard field goal and was short? I don't think the winds were gusting or howling last night at Foxborough. He just missed. He didn't hit it good. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, I digress. I said all of that to say this. The Patriots aren't good. Their record is not reflective of what they are. They're going to find themselves out of this thing relatively quickly if their schedule gets tougher. Let me look at their schedule real quick and see who they have on the horizon. They got the Cardinals, then the Raiders, the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bills. Yeah, they're going to find themselves no more than 8 wins on the season. They may beat the Cardinals. They may beat the Raiders. They could lose both of those games because, again, they're not a great football team. So I digress. Let's wrap this show up with my money picks of the week. And your boy has gotten red hot. So I just want to make something aware, make you guys aware of something. So currently my record on the season is 115, 64, and 1. So in week 9 of my winners and losers league, I was 9 games back of the leader in the clubhouse. And I was 7 games back of the second place competitor. And so I was struggling, needless to say. But I never lost confidence in myself. This season has been one of the wackiest in recent memory. But I never lost confidence in my ability. And that was week 9. We're in week 13 now. Okay, so in week 9, I was back 9 games off the lead, 7 off of second place. I am now tied for second, 2 games back of the leader. This is a make or break week because I feel like I'm picking a lot of craziness this week, but it's not crazy to me because this season has been crazy. So there's the definition of crazy doesn't exist anymore unless you're picking the Texans to beat somebody. That's crazy. Okay. But anything outside of picking the Texans is pretty much within bounds and reason. And you can make a case for it. So this is how I've come back. I've come back making smart, but I told you guys this like 6 weeks ago, last time we did this, because I haven't been doing this like I should have every week. The last time I told you guys, it's all about making calculated risk decisions and picks without going overboard and canceling out the good ones that you make. Because if you pick Carolina to beat Denver, which I did last week, that's cool. But if you go behind that and you pick Green Bay to beat whomever they were playing, well, you just canceled out your big victory that you got by picking the sorry-ass Packers to beat Philadelphia. Like, you can't do stupid shit. Got to be calculated. This week, it's calculated, but it also can be very risky. I could throw away everything that I've done over the last 3 weeks to climb within 2 games, or I could literally take the lead this week. Only one way to find out, but here are my money picks of the week. I'm off to a 1-0 start. Pick Buffalo. That was easy. That was a gimme. Okay, that was a layup. Just put it in the basket. Green Bay at Chicago. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think is going to play. I don't know if he's playing or not. I don't think he's going to play. So in comes Jordan Love, and there was conflicting reports. Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee's show, and he said, "Hey, I got a good report. I think there's a chance I can play, and if I'm healthy, I'm going to play." And then there was a report later on that week that said Aaron Rodgers is open to the idea of allowing Jordan Love to finish up the season. They got shit to play for. What does Aaron Rodgers need to go out there with cracked ribs for? Like, you're not coming back. You're not winning anything of note. Let the young fella play. Like, this is still your team. He can go out, throw 14 touchdowns, no interceptions, win every single game, and it's still your team after the season. Might be a lot more conversation, but still your team. Anyway, I think Justin Fields is coming back this week. Whether he is or not, I like the Bears in this game at home. I think Fields is going to play, though. And if he plays, I feel even more confident. But I told you, when we go battle of the backup quarterbacks, I always feel better when I know I have the better backup. Now, I don't think that the Bears necessarily have the better backup, but they've got the backup with the most experience. And Jordan Love looked damn good against Philadelphia. Everybody's been looking damn good against Philadelphia lately. But I don't know. I think that's fool's gold. I'll take the Bears. That's a risky one, but I feel good about it. It's family business. You know what that means. The Bears are due. All right, they're due for a win over the Packers. And if Fields plays and Rodgers doesn't, I like this opportunity for the Bears to steal one. Give me the Bears. The Bears. Steelers at Falcons. This is a toss-up. Week 13, let me just say this. Week 13 is locked and loaded with absolute dime games. There are 6 matchups, the most we've seen this season since week 8, when you can start really looking at this statistic. I'm not talking about 2 1-1 teams playing each other. In week 4, a 2-1 and a 2 and a 3-0 team. No, I'm not talking about that. Since week 8, when you've got at least 7 or 8 games under your belt, we haven't had 6 games featuring 2 teams with winning records playing each other. We got that this week. That's not this game, though. Steelers and Falcons. But the Falcons they're not going away quietly. The Steelers are playing much better. Kenny Pickett's taking care of the football. That defense is solid enough to give them an opportunity. And they may play the hell out of this read option that they're going to get, a heavy dose of it with Mariota and company. But I just think the Falcons are not going to go away in that division. They're not going to go away in the wild card. They're going to hang around. And it's games like this at home that they're going to find a way to win and keep them relevant. I'll take the Falcons at home to dispatch of. This is a Tomlin special. This is the kind of game Mike Tomlin wins to end up at the end of the season, 8-8, which you can't do anymore. But this is the type of game he would have won if he could have still gotten to 8-8. He's not getting over 500 this year. All right. So he's going to lose this game. Give me the Falcons. Jets at Vikings. I thought long and hard about this. I thought about the Jets. Mike White playing his ass off. The Vikings defensively aren't all that great. They allow teams to hang in ball games. That Jets defense is something serious, and they're going to take Sauce Gardner and they're going to sick him on Justin Jefferson, and I think he's going to slow his ass down. The problem is they still have Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, and other guys that can hurt that Jets defense. This is going to be a closer game than people think. And maybe people think it is going to be a close game. Maybe people think the Jets are going to win. And they may win this game. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility, but I think the Vikings, this isn't a fluke like what they're doing this season. They've been finding ways to win. I think they find a way to win in this game. Late, give me the Vikings at home to dispose of the Jets. Jags and Lions. Interesting game. Two teams that I think are playing some of their best football of the season. Obviously, neither one of them are going to make the playoffs, but they're young teams and they're trying to find their way. Jacksonville doesn't win on the road. They won against the Chargers earlier this season, but everybody wins in LA. That's a home game when you go there. Traditional road games, Jacksonville struggles. I don't think they've beat an NFC team on the road in like 3 or 4 years. I think that continues. I'll take the Detroit Lions at home to take care of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Titans at Eagles. This is a big one because I think the Eagles are vulnerable. I don't necessarily love the Titans offense, but I like it enough to where they've got a shot. Derrick Henry running the football. I don't know if you see what their first round pick receiver is doing right now, but he's coming to life and he's making the plays that they drafted him to make. He's going up and high pointing the football, making explosive plays down the field. And it's perfect. I talked about this when they beat Green Bay. His play is allowing the rest of the receivers to be properly slotted. And because of that, I think the Titans are going to win this game. I think they're going to go in there. Henry's going to have 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tannehill's going to take care of the football, make timely throws. And that defense, this is the thing nobody's talking about. That defense is going to kick Jalen Hurts' ass. That's a good damn Titans defense. And the Eagles are going to find that shit out firsthand. And I think the Titans are going to ball control the shit out of them and win that football game. The blueprint is already out there. Don't get into a damn, fist fight because the Eagles will bring a knife to that shit. Don't get into a knife fight. The Eagles will bring guns. All right. You got to slow this shit down. And that's what the Titans are going to do. Give me the Tennessee Titans on the road to take care of the Philadelphia Eagles. Upset special. Cleveland at Houston. Short and sweet. First game off of his suspension against his former team. The NFL set this up. The Texans suck. And this is the perfect game for Deshaun Watson to come back, get his sea legs under him, and get a win. Give me the Browns in that game. Washington at Giants. I'll leave that one for my show later on tonight. You want to know the outcome there, check out CNN this evening. Denver at Baltimore. Denver stinks. They haven't won a game in almost a month now. They can't score any points. The offense is a joke. Russell Wilson is struggling. The head coach is struggling. They're a mess. That defense, God bless their heart, their soul. They deserve better, but they're not getting better. Give me Baltimore, even though the Ravens, this is going to be a close game because that Broncos defense is legit. And the Ravens, they're not playing great football right now. So I'll just tell you that. Dolphins at 49ers. Great game. Another one of these matchups between two teams with winning records. One of the marquee matchups of Week 13. I like the Dolphins in this game because the last time the 49ers saw a real outfit on offense, they struggled against the Chiefs. Now, I will say this. Everyone's making a big deal of Mike McDaniel knowing the 49ers offense and defense. Nobody's making a big deal of the fact that they know his offense and defense, right? Like, they're looking in the mirror. So then I feel like it boils down to, well, who's got better players? The Dolphins do, to me, offensively. And I think the 49ers are still struggling to score. I'll take the 49ers or the Dolphins in this game. I think they will get it done. Seattle at the Rams. Stafford's not playing. I don't know if he's going to play the remainder of the season. It doesn't matter. The Rams suck. They don't have Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald's going to miss the first game of his career. Give me the Seahawks in that football game. Chargers at Raiders. This is AFC West family business. I'm going to tell you right now, I like the Raiders in this game. They can run the football. The Chargers cannot stop the run. They are atrocious against the run. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to play in this game. He's a little banged up. But even if he doesn't play, I like the Raiders in this game. I think they're going to get it done. Give me the Raiders. The Chargers, this is the kind of game that they have a letdown. This is what they do. I'll take the Raiders. Chiefs at the Bengals. Another marquee matchup. Love this game. The Bengals know how to play the Chiefs. They're at home. They're getting their star receiver, Jamar Chase, back in this game. I don't know if Joe Mixon will be back in the game or not, but I just, the Bengals know how to play the Chiefs. It's just one of those matchups. They know them. They know them well. They play them well. I'll take the Bengals at home to dispatch of the Kansas City Chiefs. Colts and Cowboys. I don't know why they didn't flex this shit out of Sunday night. The Colts are reeling. The Cowboys pass rush is going to devour Matt Ryan. That game won't be close. It might be close early, but it won't be close late. Give me Dallas in the Sunday night game. Monday Night Football, NFC South family business. You know how the family do it. Saints and Bucks. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. I've always said this is the Saints ass-whooping game where they go to Tampa and destroy the Bucks and embarrass them, emasculate them on national television. They've done it each of the last 2 seasons. I think it's different this year. For whatever reason, I don't trust the Buccaneers at all. They're not a good football team right now. But neither are the Saints. You're asking me, which one do I trust? Do I trust Andy Dalton or do I trust Tom Brady? I think that's a pretty simple answer. I'll go with Tom Brady. Reluctantly, give me the Bucks in that football game to win. And so those are my picks. Got 2 super chats that I'll knock out real quick, and then I am gone. Told you this was going to be an in and out pod. And so Red Wing 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, random thought. Hearing Pat Peterson call out Kyler reminds me of Moss calling out RG3. Made more ironic by the fact that they're first cousins. Makes me more inclined to believe Peterson as well. I'm telling you, Peterson's not wrong. Now, Peterson was dirty for doing that. You know, he ain't shit for that. But I'm going to just tell you, I don't think he's wrong. And I've told you this about Kyler Murray. I told you Kyler Murray isn't a leader. Kyler Murray is selfish. There's a lot of things that I don't like. And I don't know Kyler Murray. Patrick Peterson does. I don't know him, but you can see it on the sidelines. So I'm not surprised by that. I was surprised that he aired him out the way that he did. But I'm not shocked by that at all. Not at all. Red Wings 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, considering the Dwarves love to blitz, I really want to see how B-Rob holds up in pass pro, which is the one thing he was known for, especially in JD's place. I've been really happy with what we've gotten out of the backs in pass protection. They've done a really solid job to this point. So you're right. They're going to have to be, the tight ends are going to have to be big because the Giants are going to come after us. That's not up for debate. They're coming after us, and we're going to have to be able to stand up to that pressure. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me on this impromptu and very brief but very poignant Louie T Network podcast. I look forward to chopping it up with you guys on Sunday. I hope that I don't regret these picks, but I feel so good. I'm so hot right now. Your boy is flaming. Hopefully, the scorch continues. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Enjoy your weekend. God bless and good night. Louie T.